The darkness of space was endless. Stars shone like tiny diamonds in the distance, cold and far away. In this endless void, a small alien ship drifted slowly. Its metal body was scratched and bent. Sparks flew from broken panels and smoke curled inside the cabin. Warning lights blinked red and yellow, casting strange shadows on the walls. The ship groaned and creaked as if it were alive and in pain. Inside the ship, an alien family huddled together. The mother, with greenish skin that glowed faintly, tried to fix the oxygen system. Every few seconds she looked at the small gauge that showed how little air was left. Her hands shook and her eyes were full of worry. She whispered quietly to herself, hoping her voice would calm the child beside her. The child was small, barely old enough to understand the danger. Its eyes were wide and shiny, reflecting the flickering lights around them. Every time the ship shook or a spark flew close, the child gasped and cried. The father moved carefully through the narrow corridors, holding tools and trying to repair a broken engine. He wiped sweat from his forehead and cursed softly when nothing worked. He looked back at his family, fear in his eyes. He knew their chances were small. They had tried everything. They had sent signals to nearby planets, hoping for help. But every time they broadcasted their distress call, no one answered. They saw other ships passing in the distance, but none stopped. The galaxy felt cold and cruel. It seemed as if everyone had turned their backs on them. Every species they knew had ignored their pleas. The family felt more alone than ever before. Time was slipping away. Every passing minute made the air thinner, the ship weaker. The sound of the alarm beeped constantly, echoing in the small cabin. The parents exchanged worried looks. They had to keep hope alive for their child, but it was getting harder with each moment. The mother tried to smile, but it felt forced. The father tried to fix the engine again, hoping something would work. Sparks flew dangerously close to the oxygen pipe, and the child screamed in fear. Suddenly, a warning light flashed red and a loud alarm rang. The oxygen was critically low. The father grabbed the child and held it close. He whispered softly, "Do not worry. We will find help." The mother joined them, and for a moment the three of them just held each other. In the cold, empty space, this small family was alone, but they were together. That gave them some strength. The child looked up at the mother with frightened eyes. "Will someone come?" it asked in a tiny voice. The mother kissed the child's forehead. "I don't know, little one. But we will not give up. We must keep trying." Outside the ship, the universe seemed silent and uncaring. Stars burned bright, but no one noticed the small, broken ship drifting through the void. The galaxy felt empty, as if it had forgotten them. Every passing moment made the family smaller, weaker, and closer to despair. Then, far away, a tiny flicker appeared on the communication panel. A weak signal, almost too small to detect. The parents stared at it, unsure if it was real or just another glitch. The father adjusted the controls and tried to strengthen the signal. To their surprise, a new voice came through, clear and calm. The mother gasped. The child pressed its small hands against the glass, staring in hope. The father could not believe it. For the first time in days, someone had answered. Someone had listened. A new light of hope filled their hearts. Could it be? Could someone really be there to help them? They had tried so long and everyone had turned them away. But now there was a chance. The voice spoke again, steady and kind. "We see you. We will help. Stay calm. Help is on the way." The family looked at each other with wide eyes, almost unable to believe what they heard. The mother hugged her child tightly. The father's hand stopped shaking. The alarm still beeped and sparks flew dangerously, but their hearts felt lighter. Someone cared. Someone had not turned away. In the cold void of space, no one had cared, until now. And that someone was human. The ship still floated, broken and fragile, but the hope inside that small cabin grew stronger with every passing second. For the first time in days, the alien family felt safe. Not completely safe, but safe enough to believe that maybe, just maybe, they would survive. The stars outside continued to shine cold and distant, but inside the ship, a small warmth began to spread. It was the warmth of kindness. The warmth of hope. And for this family, that warmth was stronger than the fear of the empty, dark universe. As the faint hum of an approaching human ship reached their ears, the family clung to each other, their hearts beating fast. The adventure had just begun, and the story of courage, survival, and kindness was about to unfold. The small alien ship drifted deeper into space. The metal hull groaned with every movement, and smoke continued to curl from broken panels. Inside, the air was thin and the little family struggled to breathe. The mother adjusted the oxygen mask, trying to make it fit tighter around her child's face. Her hands were shaking, but she forced herself to stay calm. Every second counted, and panic would only make things worse. The child clung to its mother, trembling. Its small voice whispered, "Will we die, Mama?" The mother swallowed hard, trying not to cry. "No, little one, we will find help." "We have to," she said, though her voice wavered. She wanted to believe it herself. The father moved through the cramped corridors carrying a toolbox. He inspected wires, tubes, and broken panels. Sparks flew dangerously close to his hands. Every tool he grabbed seemed to fail him. One engine had completely shut down. Another made a strange grinding noise. He cursed softly, hoping the child didn't hear. Every failure weighed heavily on him. The family had tried sending distress signals to nearby planets and ships, but no one answered. Some species ignored them completely. Others sent cold, robotic messages saying they could not help. The family had learned quickly. In this galaxy, survival was not guaranteed. Most beings only cared about themselves. The universe had been cruel to them, and now their hope was thin and fragile. Hours passed like days. The oxygen gauge dropped lower, and the alarms beeped faster. The child was too weak to cry now, just shivering quietly in the mother's arms. The father worked tirelessly, adjusting broken wires, praying for a miracle. He had tried everything he knew, but the ship was failing. Every movement made sparks fly and alarms ring, reminding them that time was running out. Suddenly the ship lurched violently. A part of the hull cracked, sending smoke into the cabin. The father grabbed the child and pulled it close. The mother covered their faces with a cloth, trying to block the smoke. They held each other tightly, hoping the fragile ship wouldn't tear apart. The child's tiny body shook, but the warmth of their closeness gave it some comfort. Through the cabin window, distant stars blinked like cold eyes. One by one, the stars seemed to watch them silently, indifferent to their struggle. It was as if the universe itself had forgotten them. The parents' hearts ached. They had given all their strength, but everything seemed against them. In a rare moment of quiet, the father whispered, "We can't give up. Not now. We must keep going." The mother nodded, her face pale but determined. "We will survive. We have to." Hours turned into a night that felt endless. Every sound of the ship made the child flinch. Sparks, alarms, and the constant hum of failing engines filled the air. The family clung to hope even as their bodies grew weak. They tried contacting nearby colonies again. This time they sent a more desperate signal, including coordinates, images of their ship, and a plea for help. The messages floated through the dark void, unanswered. No blinking lights, no replies, just empty silence. The family realized how alone they truly were. But then, a flicker appeared on the communication panel. A weak, almost invisible signal. The father leaned close, adjusting the controls. Could it be another glitch? Another cruel trick of the galaxy? The signal became clearer. A voice emerged, calm and kind, yet strange to them. The mother froze, her heart pounding. The child's eyes widened. "Is it someone?" the child asked. The father wiped sweat from his forehead. "It might be, stay calm." The voice spoke again. "We see you. We will help. Remain calm. Do not panic." For the first time in days, relief washed over the family. Their hearts beat faster, not from fear but from hope. Could it really be that someone had finally answered their desperate call? Someone who cared? They looked at each other in disbelief. The universe that had ignored them now offered a lifeline. The sparks and alarms didn't stop. The ship was still failing. The engine still groaned and oxygen was dangerously low. But inside their hearts, a small fire of hope had started. The child smiled weakly for the first time, feeling the warmth of a chance to survive. The mother whispered softly, maybe we are not alone after all." The father nodded, his hands trembling slightly as he held the child. "Someone is coming. Someone will help us." Outside, the stars remained distant and cold. The ship was still broken. But now, the family's fear was mixed with anticipation. Help was coming. They didn't know what form it would take, or how dangerous the journey still could be. But at least for the first time, hope had entered the empty void. And that hope was human. In the cold, silent galaxy, humans had decided to reach out. And for this small alien family, that decision would change everything. The engines sputtered and alarms continued, but now, every beep and spark reminded them not of the danger, but of the miracle on the way. The human ship was coming. And soon they would no longer be alone. The alien family floated silently in the vast emptiness of space. Their small ship was battered and weak, drifting slowly toward the unknown. Sparks still flew from broken panels and smoke curled through the narrow corridors. The alarms rang constantly, a reminder that time was slipping away. Every breath felt heavier than the last. The child clung tightly to its mother, shivering. Its eyes were wide with fear, reflecting the blinking lights and shadows of the cabin. The mother hugged the child close, trying to hide her own panic. She whispered softly, "We must be brave, little one. We must try one last time." The father knelt over the damaged communication console, fingers trembling as he worked. He had sent countless signals already, desperate cries for help, but every attempt had been ignored. Planets had denied them. Alien species had turned away. The cold, uncaring universe had watched them struggle and failed to respond. But now something was different. A faint signal had appeared on the console. It was weak, almost invisible, but it was real. The father's heart raced. He looked at his wife and the child. "This might be our only chance," he said. "We have to send a full message. Everything we have, everything we are, we must send it now." The mother nodded, swallowing her fear. She helped her husband type the coordinates, their images, and a desperate plea for help into the console. Every second counted. The oxygen was dangerously low. The engines groaned with each failed attempt to stabilize the ship. Sparks flew dangerously close to the oxygen pipe, and smoke filled the cabin. The child whimpered quietly, feeling the fear of the parents, but also the faint spark of hope that they were trying. Finally, the message was ready. The father took a deep breath and pressed the send button. The console beeped, and the message shot out into the vast darkness, traveling light years toward the distant signal they had detected. The cabin was silent except for the alarms and the hum of the failing engines. The family waited. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours. The child pressed its small hands against the window, staring at the distant stars as if hoping one of them would respond. The mother held the child tightly, whispering prayers to whatever powers might exist in the universe. The father leaned against the console, trying to stay calm, but his heart pounded with fear. Then, faintly, a new signal came through. A voice, clear, calm, and human, spoke through the console. "We see you. We have received your message. Stay calm. Help is on the way." The mother gasped and covered her mouth with her hand. Tears filled her eyes. The child's small body shook and it whispered, They are coming?" The father nodded, unable to speak. His hands trembled as he held both the console and the child. For the first time in days, the family felt a real, tangible hope. Humans, someone had actually answered. But there was still danger. The ship was failing. Sparks flew dangerously and smoke filled the cabin, making it hard to breathe. The oxygen was almost gone. Every moment could be their last. Yet, the knowledge that help was coming gave them strength. They could almost feel it, a ship, alive and strong, moving through the darkness toward them. The mother whispered softly to the child, "Hold on, little one. Help is near. We will survive." The father worked quickly, trying to stabilize the ship until the rescuers arrived. His hands were blistered and raw, but he refused to stop. He checked the engines one more time, adjusted the remaining oxygen supply, and made sure the child was safe in the mother's arms. Outside, the vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly. Stars glimmered coldly, indifferent to the small, fragile ship drifting among them. But now the alien family was not alone. Somewhere out there, a human ship was coming. They could not see it yet, but they could feel it. A warmth of hope spread through their hearts, soft and steady, fighting the fear that had ruled them for days. The child, for the first time, let out a small smile. Its tiny hands held tightly to its mother. "They will save us," it whispered. "Yes," the mother replied, tears in her eyes. "They will save us." And somewhere far away, a human crew aboard a massive, shining ship saw a faint distress signal blinking in the void. They had no idea who these aliens were or what dangers awaited them. But humans did not ignore cries for help. They had come. The small alien family held their breath, feeling every second stretch longer than the last. Sparks flew dangerously close again and the ship shuddered, but they did not move. They could only wait. Finally, in the distance, a faint light appeared. Slowly, steadily, it grew brighter. The human ship was approaching. Its hull gleamed in the light of distant stars, strong and powerful. The alien family could barely believe their eyes. Rescue was here. For the first time since their journey began, they allowed themselves to hope fully. Survival seemed possible. The universe, which had turned its back on them, was no longer entirely cruel. And it was all because humans had chosen to care. The engines groaned one last time, the alarms still rang, but inside the small cabin, hope was louder than fear. The human ship moved closer, shining like a beacon in the dark void. A new chapter of the family's life was about to begin. A chapter of kindness, rescue, and the possibility of a future in a galaxy that had almost forgotten them. The alien family's small ship floated quietly in the endless void, barely holding together. The alarm still rang, the engines groaned, and smoke filled the cabin. Every spark and shaking panel reminded them of how fragile their lives had become. But now there was something different. A bright light appeared in the distance. Slowly it grew closer. A massive ship, unlike any they had ever seen, moved steadily toward them. The child pressed its tiny hands against the window, staring in wonder and fear. "Mama, Papa, look," it whispered. Its voice was trembling, but there was hope in it for the first time. The mother hugged the child tightly. "Yes, someone is here to help us. Be brave, little one." The father stood near the control panel, heart pounding. He could see the human ship's lights reflecting off the darkness around them. It was enormous, shining with a soft, warm light. Its metal hull was smooth, powerful, and strong. It moved like a giant guardian through the black void, and for the first time the family felt small but safe. A signal came through the console. The human voice was calm, clear, and gentle. "We have located your ship. Prepare for assistance. Stay calm and remain where you are." The parents exchanged relieved looks. Relief mixed with fear. Could they trust these humans? They had been deceived, ignored, and abandoned by so many in the galaxy. But something in the voice, something in the careful and kind tone, gave them courage. The human ship moved closer, and a mechanical docking arm extended toward the alien ship. The family watched as the humans carefully aligned their vessel. Sparks flew from their own ship as the docking began, but the humans controlled everything with precision. It was a careful, patient, and deliberate operation. "Stay close to each other," the mother whispered to the child. "We are almost safe." The docking connected. A ramp extended slowly, bridging the distance between the two ships. From the human vessel, figures appeared. Humans, tall, strong, but gentle in their movements, entered the alien ship. They carried medical kits, oxygen tanks, and tools to stabilize the failing ship. The alien family watched in awe. One of the humans knelt beside the child, offering a small, warm hand. "It's okay," the human said softly. "You are safe now." The child hesitated for a moment, then took the human's hand. A small smile appeared on its face. The first genuine smile in days. The mother and father stepped forward cautiously, still unsure, but their fear melted slightly as they saw the care and kindness in the human's eyes. The humans moved quickly but gently. They connected new oxygen tanks, patched the broken panels, and stabilized the engines. Sparks that had been threatening the ship moments ago were now under control. The alarms quieted. Smoke began to clear. The cabin felt warmer, safer. The mother hugged her child tightly again. They saved us," she whispered. The father's hands, once trembling with fear, now shook with relief and gratitude. The humans didn't ask questions yet. They focused on care first. One human offered the family water and food. Another checked the oxygen levels and reassured the parents. Every action was deliberate, thoughtful, and kind. The alien family had never experienced such immediate, selfless help before. Outside, the stars continued to shine, but the darkness no longer felt threatening. With the humans nearby, the void seemed smaller, less dangerous. The child looked up at the mother, eyes shining. "Will they stay with us?" The mother smiled, tears in her eyes. "We don't know, but they will help us now. That is what matters." The father looked around the cabin, once filled with despair, now filled with cautious hope. He realized that humans had not only come to rescue them, they had reminded them that kindness still existed in the galaxy. A single act of care had changed everything. The human leader, noticing the family's fear and relief, spoke again. "We are here to take you somewhere safe. Trust us." The aliens nodded slowly, realizing they had no choice but to trust. The human ship had the strength, the knowledge, and the will to protect them. It was a promise in the darkness, a promise they had almost forgotten could exist. As the family prepared to move onto the human ship, the child clung to its parents. For the first time in days, it did not feel alone. The humans had reached out, and their touch, their voice, their presence had transformed fear into hope. The mother whispered one final prayer, not just for survival, but for the kindness that had come from an unexpected corner of the galaxy. The father smiled at the humans, gratitude shining in his eyes. They had been ignored, abandoned, and almost lost. Now they had a chance to live, to see a future beyond the dark void that had threatened to swallow them. And as the alien family stepped onto the human ship, leaving their broken vessel behind, the galaxy seemed to shift slightly. The darkness was still vast, still cold, but for one small family drifting in space, warmth, safety, and hope had finally arrived. The encounter was over. The rescue had begun. And the story of humanity's kindness, of compassion in a galaxy that often forgot it, was now written into the lives of those who had almost given up. The small alien family stepped cautiously onto the human ship. The floor was smooth and warm, a stark contrast to the cramped, damaged vessel they had left behind. Every step felt new, strange, and slightly frightening. The child clung tightly to its mother, glancing around at the vast, shining corridors of the human ship. The lights were soft and calming, and the hum of the engine sounded steady and safe. The mother held the child close. "It's okay, little one," she whispered. "They will take care of us." The father followed, carrying what little belongings they had managed to save. His eyes scanned the human ship with both awe and caution. The vessel was enormous, sleek, and organized. Humans moved with purpose but also with care. Every action seemed thoughtful, as if they were aware of the fear and fragility of their new passengers. One human approached the family, holding a small device that measured oxygen and air quality. "Your air levels were dangerously low," the human said softly. "You are safe now. We have stabilized your ship, but it could not have held much longer." The mother's eyes filled with tears. Thank you so much," she whispered. The child peeked from behind her mother's leg. They saved us?" it asked, voice small and trembling. "Yes, little one," the father replied, smiling weakly. "They saved us. Finally, someone cares." The humans guided the family to a small, warm chamber. There were soft beds, clean air, and enough space for the family to breathe freely. The child's eyes widened as it saw the safety and comfort surrounding them. For the first time in days it felt secure. A human offered water and food, something simple but nourishing. The family accepted, hands shaking slightly. Every bite, every sip reminded them that they were alive, that they were safe. They had not just survived the void, they had survived it with help. The father looked around the room, seeing the humans preparing tools and supplies for further repairs. He realized that humans did not just offer help, they had come prepared. They had anticipated needs, dangers, and even the smallest comforts for the alien family. It was a level of care the family had never experienced before. One human sat down near the child, speaking gently. "You don't need to be afraid. You are safe now. We will take you to a place where you can heal and rest." The child hesitated for a moment, then slowly reached out its small hand. The human smiled warmly and held it. That small touch was enough to break the final walls of fear. Trust was forming, delicate but real. The mother spoke softly to her husband. "We must trust them. They have risked themselves to save us. That is rare in the galaxy." The father nodded. "Yes, we have no choice but to believe in them. If we want to survive, we must let go of fear and follow their guidance." Outside the windows, the galaxy stretched endlessly. Stars sparkled like distant diamonds, but none had moved to help the alien family, except humans. The human ship moved steadily, guiding the family toward a safe planet that glowed faintly in the distance. It was a place they could not yet see clearly, but it promised safety, life, and perhaps a new beginning. The child, now sitting between its parents, whispered softly, "Will it be safe there?" The mother kissed the child's forehead. "Yes, little one. We are going there together and we will be safe." The father watched the human crew work efficiently. Every human seemed aware of the family's fear and fragility. They spoke gently, moved carefully, and ensured that every action was reassuring. For the alien family, who had been ignored or feared by other species, this was a new experience. They were learning that kindness could be as powerful as strength and trust could save lives. As the human ship moved closer to the safe planet, the parents allowed themselves a rare moment of relief. Their hearts still raced, but the fear that had consumed them for so long began to fade. Hope had returned, stronger than before. The humans communicated with calm voices, explaining what to expect upon landing. "There will be others there who can help you," one human said. "You will have food, shelter, and care. We are here to ensure your safety." The alien parents exchanged glances. They could hardly believe it. For the first time in days, they felt a future opening before them. A future where survival was possible and fear did not dominate every moment. The child, leaning against the mother, whispered, I think we will be okay." The mother smiled, tears running down her face. "Yes, little one. We will be okay. We are not alone anymore." The father, holding the child's small hand, looked out the window at the approaching planet. The surface was faintly illuminated, covered with forests, rivers, and signs of life. It was a world that promised safety and a chance to begin again. And in that moment, the alien family understood something profound. Survival was not only about avoiding death, it was about finding trust, care, and kindness in a galaxy that often forgot them. Humans had shown them that hope could exist even in the darkest void. The family held each other tightly as the human ship descended toward the safe planet. Sparks, alarms, and the dark emptiness of space were behind them. Ahead lay safety, warmth, and the promise of a new life. For the first time, they allowed themselves to truly believe in the kindness of strangers, and that belief would change everything. The human ship descended slowly toward the planet. The surface glowed faintly in the distance, covered with forests, rivers, and small cities. The alien family watched with wide eyes, still holding each other tightly. Their small ship, now safely docked inside the human vessel, was left behind as they prepared to step onto the planet for the first time in days. The humans led the family carefully down a ramp. Every step was gentle and deliberate. The ground beneath them was soft, warm, and alive. For the child, it was almost magical, the feeling of solid ground, the scent of life in the air, and the soft murmur of humans moving around. "This is beautiful," the mother whispered. She looked around, her eyes wide with awe. The father nodded, holding the child close. "We've never seen anything like this," he said softly. "It feels safe." Humans guided them to a small settlement built for visitors like them. The buildings were warm, welcoming, and filled with light. Other humans were already there, preparing food, offering clean clothes, and setting up places for the family to rest. Everything was designed for comfort, safety, and healing. The child hesitated at first, looking around nervously. But one human kneeled down, smiling warmly. "Come on," the human said softly. "It's okay here. You will be safe and you will be cared for." The child slowly took the human's hand, glancing at its parents for reassurance. The mother nodded, and the child allowed itself to be led forward. For the first time in many days, it felt a small spark of joy. The family settled into a cozy room. Soft beds, warm blankets, and nutritious food awaited them. The mother helped the child sit down while the father observed the humans moving efficiently around them, attending to their needs with care and patience. One human offered the parents a cup of warm liquid. "This will help you regain strength," the human said. The parents accepted, feeling warmth spread through their bodies. They had survived the void, but now for the first time they felt nourishment, comfort, and genuine care. Over the next few hours, the family started to explore the human settlement. Children of humans approached the alien child cautiously. They spoke slowly, using simple gestures and soft words. The alien child hesitated at first, unsure of how to respond. But when one human child offered a small, glowing toy, the alien smiled and reached out. Laughter followed, a sound the family had not heard in days. The mother watched her child play, tears in her eyes. "They are friendly," she whispered to her husband. "They truly care for us." The father nodded. "Yes, humans are different. They did not ignore us. They risked their safety to save us. And now, they are helping us live." Humans continued to show care in every small action. They repaired the alien family's clothes, gave them food that matched their diet, and explained the rules of the settlement. Every word, every gesture was gentle and patient. The aliens had never experienced such kindness. Every species they had met before either ignored them or feared them. Humans were different. The child ran back to the mother and father, holding a small glowing toy. "Look," it said, smiling brightly. "They are my friends." The mother smiled, overwhelmed with relief. "Yes, little one, you have friends here. We are safe." The father looked at the humans nearby. "You have shown us something we thought no one in the galaxy had, compassion," he said softly. "We will never forget it." The humans nodded, understanding the weight of their actions. One of them spoke gently, "Kindness may seem small, but it can change everything. Today we saved your lives. Tomorrow, who knows? Maybe you will carry this kindness forward." The alien family realized the truth in those words. Humans had saved them, but more importantly, they had shown them that hope and trust were not lost in the galaxy. They had given the family a chance not just to survive but to live again. Outside the settlement, the galaxy stretched endlessly. Stars sparkled in the dark void, but now for the first time the alien family did not feel fear. They had found friends. They had found hope. They had found humans. As the child played with human children under the soft glow of the settlement lights, the parents stood together, holding hands. "We are not alone," the mother whispered. No, the father agreed. Not anymore. Humans have shown us that kindness can exist, even in the darkest corners of space. And somewhere far above, the human ship that had rescued them hovered silently, watching over them, a silent guardian in the galaxy. The alien family had been given a second chance. A chance to trust, to live, and to see the galaxy not as a place of fear, but as a place where compassion could exist. In that moment, the galaxy felt smaller, warmer, and full of possibilities. The family had survived the void, found humans, and discovered the true meaning of hope. The story of survival, kindness, and new friendship was only beginning, and the alien family was ready to embrace it fully. The alien family had spent days on the human settlement, slowly regaining their strength. The small child laughed and played with human children, their tiny hands exploring new toys and games. The parents began to eat proper meals, rest in warm beds, and feel the simple comfort of safety for the first time in what felt like forever. Yet even as they grew stronger, their thoughts often returned to the cold void of space, the endless darkness, the sparks, the alarms, and the near silence of a galaxy that had ignored their cries. For so long they had felt abandoned, helpless, and small. But now a small light had entered their lives. Humans had saved them. Humans had shown them that kindness was still possible in a galaxy that often forgot it. The mother watched the child run and play with a group of human children. Tears welled in her eyes. "We were almost lost," she whispered to her husband. "But they saved us. Not just our lives, they gave us hope." The father nodded slowly. "Yes, they did not have to. Many would have ignored us. But humans, they showed us kindness when no one else would. That is a rare gift." Outside, the galaxy continued its vast, cold rotation. Other alien species moved about their own lives, often blind to the struggles of those in need. But something had begun to change. News of the humans' rescue spread quietly at first, then faster. Other species began to speak of humans differently. They talked about their courage, their selflessness, and the small acts of care that could make a life or death difference. The alien family now understood that their story was bigger than themselves. The kindness that had saved them was not just an isolated act. It was a spark, a lesson for the entire galaxy. Humans had not only rescued a family, they had shown that even in a universe filled with fear, competition, and cold silence, compassion could still exist. The father held the child in his arms, looking out at the stars. "We will remember this," he said softly. "We will carry the story of their kindness wherever we go. Others will know that humans are different. Others will learn that helping is stronger than ignoring." The mother smiled. "Yes, maybe someday this will change the galaxy. Maybe others will see the power of kindness." Days turned into weeks. The alien family continued to heal, guided and protected by humans. They learned about human culture, their ways of thinking, and their willingness to act even when it was difficult or dangerous. Every interaction reinforced the truth they had already seen. Humans cared even in a galaxy that often did not. One day the child asked, "Will we ever go back to space?" The father smiled. "Yes, little one. But now we know we are not alone. Humans will watch over us. And maybe someday the galaxy will remember that kindness matters." The mother looked at the human crew, who were busy with their work but always ready to offer help or comfort. She felt a deep gratitude, one that went beyond words. "They saved us," she whispered again. "And now our lives, and the lives of others, can be different because of them." The child ran to the edge of the settlement and looked up at the sky. The stars no longer felt distant or threatening. Instead, they seemed full of possibilities. Somewhere out there, other beings might be struggling, feeling alone, or lost in the cold void. And if humans could reach out to those in need, maybe others would learn to do the same. The father placed his hands on his wife's shoulders and looked out at the horizon. "This is just the beginning," he said. "Our survival is one story. There are many more out there. But the galaxy will remember humans. Their kindness will be known. It will inspire hope." The mother nodded, her eyes shining. "Yes, it will spread. And maybe, just maybe, the galaxy will not feel so empty anymore." And far above, the human ship that had rescued them remained in orbit, a silent guardian watching over the settlement. Its lights glowed softly in the darkness, a beacon of hope and care. The alien family knew they were safe, but they also understood that this was more than safety. It was a lesson, a message for the galaxy. In a universe that often turned away from suffering, humans had shown that compassion could shine brighter than fear, stronger than cruelty, and more powerful than despair. For the alien family, the galaxy had changed forever. And for the humans, A single act of kindness had rewritten the story of survival, hope, and trust across the stars. The child laughed, running back to its parents. The mother and father embraced, smiling through tears. The stars above shone coldly, but now the family felt warmth, security, and a promise that kindness could ripple across the galaxy, touching lives far beyond their own. The story of humans' kindness had begun to spread. And in the vastness of space, that spark of hope promised that no one would ever be truly alone if there were humans willing to care.